In today's world, many conversations about Islam often turn to the topic of women. These discussions are frequently filled with misunderstandings and stereotypes. People see images and hear stories that paint a picture of oppression and inequality. However, this perspective often overlooks the foundational texts and the historical context of the faith. A deeper look into the primary sources is necessary to find the truth. The faith, which emerged in 7th century Arabia, introduced revolutionary concepts about women's rights, dignity, and role in society. The Qur'an, the central religious text of Islam, lays a powerful foundation for the spiritual equality of men and women. It addresses humanity in terms that are inclusive, often using phrases like believing men and believing women to emphasize that piety and reward are not determined by gender. One of the most profound verses states that God created all of humanity from a single soul, and from it created its mate. This verse establishes a shared origin and essence, dismantling any notion of inherent superiority of one gender over the other. The Quran makes it clear that men and women are equally responsible for their actions and will be equally judged by God. It promises the same spiritual rewards for both genders for their faith and good deeds. The teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, preserved in the collections of Hadith, further illuminate the Quran's message about women. His conduct towards women was a model of kindness, compassion, and respect. He famously stated, "The best of you are those who are best to their women." This simple yet profound statement ties a man's character and faith directly to his treatment of the women in his life. The Prophet elevated the status of mothers to an unparalleled degree, stating 3 times that one's mother deserves the best companionship. He transformed daughters from being perceived liabilities into sources of immense spiritual blessing. The concept of modest clothing in Islam, often symbolized by the hijab, is one of the most visible yet misunderstood aspects of the faith. In Western discourse, it's frequently portrayed as oppression, but within the Islamic framework, modest dress is a source of dignity, protection, and identity. The Quran first addresses men, telling them to lower their gaze and guard their modesty, before addressing women. For women, modest dress is intended as a public statement of identity and self-respect, allowing her to be judged for character and intellect. In a world that places immense pressure on women to conform to beauty standards, Islamic dress offers liberation from constant scrutiny based on looks. For millions of Muslim women worldwide who choose to wear it, the hijab is an empowering expression of their faith and identity. Islam places immense emphasis on protecting the honor and sanctity of women, establishing strong social and legal safeguards. The religion takes a firm stance against any practice that reduces a woman to an object of sexual gratification. These rules are designed to foster an environment of mutual respect, where individuals interact based on their humanity rather than sexuality. The legal framework provides strong protections, including severe penalties for false accusations against chaste women. By forbidding industries that exploit women's bodies and instituting respectful interaction rules, Islam provides a holistic shield. This ensures a woman's worth is never diminished and her sacred honor is preserved. The prohibition of alcohol in Islam is a cornerstone of its social teachings, with profound implications for protecting women and family stability. Alcohol clouds judgment, lowers inhibitions, and can lead to aggressive, irresponsible, and harmful behavior. One of the most direct benefits for women is the reduction of domestic violence and abuse. Countless studies have established a strong link between alcohol and violence within the home, where women and children are overwhelmingly the victims. The prohibition also protects families from economic ruin, ensuring resources are used for well-being rather than addiction. An alcohol-free society fosters greater public decency and safety, allowing women to move in the community without fear. In contrast to many ancient cultures, Islam strongly encourages and facilitates the remarriage of widows and divorced women. The Prophet Muhammad himself set a powerful example by marrying several widows and divorced women, removing social stigma. Remarriage offers women companionship, emotional support, and the chance to rebuild a happy family life. The Quran explicitly forbids anyone from preventing a woman from remarrying if the arrangement is mutually agreeable. Before Islam, women were often treated as property, denied legal identity, and excluded from inheritance. The arrival of Islam marked a turning point, granting women the right to own and inherit property, a revolutionary change in 7th century Arabia. Islam was the first to require a woman's consent for marriage, ensuring her voice and choice were respected. The institution of mahr, a mandatory financial gift from the groom, provided women with security and dignity in marriage. Education became a right for women, with the Prophet Muhammad urging both men and women to seek knowledge. Women became scholars, teachers, and leaders in their communities. Women were also allowed to participate in the army, offer prayers in mosques, and take active roles in public life, breaking barriers that had long restricted their involvement. Islam granted women the right to work, run businesses, and manage their own finances. Many women became successful merchants and professionals, contributing to society's growth. To protect widows and ensure their inclusion in society, Islam encouraged remarriage and, in some cases, allowed polygamy as a social safety net. This ensured that widows and their children were cared for and not left destitute. Through these reforms, Islam transformed women's status from powerlessness to empowerment, granting them legal personhood, spiritual equality, and economic rights. The legacy of Islam is one of dignity, purpose, and fulfillment for women.